What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games, and today we're going to be talking about things that are missing from the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Switch 2 update. Now, I gotta say, I am loving Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on the Switch 2. I think the game running in 4K resolution and 60 FPS is amazing. The load times are way quicker, way more Pokemon spawning in the overworld. However, there are still a few things that would improve this experience and send this game into maybe one of the best Pokemon games in the entire franchise. Of course, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and support my work by becoming a channel member by hitting that join channel member button. Let's dive in. One feature I really wish Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's 4.0 patch added to the Switch 2 and even to the Switch 1 that would have changed the game for a lot of people is a shiny sound and a shiny sparkle in the overworld. This would make shiny hunting a lot more easier and accessible for a lot of people. Not only one, some people just don't know what every shiny Pokemon looks like, so if they just walking around in the overworld, they don't realize, or just hanging out. It's like, oh, that's a shiny over there. They just may not realize it is. But if you have an audio cue and a visual cue, then they're more likely to get it. Similar to Pokemon Legends Arceus, which a lot of people love that game for that aspect. Now, I think it could have been doable. I'm not a video game programmer, but obviously Legends Arceus was made by a different dev team at Game Freak than Scarlet and Violet, so I'm sure that's where the issue lies at the end of the day. But it would have been great to add. Not only would it make shiny hunting easier for everyone, it also makes the game more accessible. And I think it's very important that we allow video games to be as accessible as possible to all people, whether you have a disability, whether you're colorblind, or whether you just can't tell the difference between a shiny Poliwag and a regular Poliwag, because that's really hard to do. And in general, I do think a feature like that should be implemented in Generation 10. If it was in Generation 9, I really do think this one feature could have made Scarlet and Violet one of the greatest Pokemon games of all time. Now, another feature I really could have seen being added to the Switch 2 update is more fidelity in the textures in game. Now, the Pokemon models look really great already. They already looked great on the Switch 1. They only look better on Switch 2 in 4K resolution. But no other textures in the game have any more polygons or pixels or anything added to them that make them look more in depth and more detailed. The thing is, you look at walls in the game, you look at just anything in the scenery, and it's just low polygon count. It just looks very, I don't know, very jank, very cheap. Doesn't look like a game from the Switch 1 era, let alone the Switch 2 era. Definitely maybe further back into like the PS3 360 era. It's just the fidelity's not there, and that would take a whole new texture pack to be uploaded for every model in the game. And it's a heavy lift for sure. I actually would have probably paid 10 bucks for something like that, because that really would have changed how the game looks in general. And I think that is actually something we deserve. Besides fidelity, we also just need more detail in this open world. It's an open world, but unfortunately, it just feels very barren. There's barely any trees or bushes and things like that. It's very, just plain, just open out there with just Pokemon walking around and doing really nothing. It doesn't feel like, oh, the Pokemon live in this world, humans live in this world. It just feels like we're in a sandbox and there's just Pokemon walking around and we can just run around and catch them. There just needs to be more landmarks, more detailed areas, just similar to other open world games. Even on this Switch, if you played things like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, you play something like Xenoblade Chronicles, which is a massive open world game as well. Those games have a lot more detail in it, and they also happen to mostly look better too, which is pretty funny. So I really wish Game Freak would improve the level of fidelity, but also the level of detail in their game. I mean, don't even get me started on towns. The towns for our former show themselves compared to past Pokemon games. We can't even walk into doors or anything like that. We can't even go into houses, and the NPCs don't really do anything in the towns either. It's all just set dressing, and they're not even elaborate. There's barely anything to even do in one of these towns. So I just wish, hopefully in Generation 10, we get a return to form of places that actually matter, that make the world feel lived in, and hopefully this can occur. This issue is something I think is completely insane and unexcusable. Why is there no online matchmaking for Ogre Alston and for the Blueberry Academy activities? There is matchmaking in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. You can matchmake to do VGC battles online, and you can matchmake to do raids with random people. But I don't know why the 2 DLCs, they added a massive piece of content that gives you really good rewards that they highlighted, things you should do with people, but yet you have to actually do them with people you know. You can only do private lobbies and have to send the code, which means you have to go on things like a Reddit or a Discord server and just hope, you can get it done there instead of just like, "Oh, hey, I just wanna do Ogre Alston. Okay, I found 3 random people just like in raids. Let's do Ogre Alston and let's just get some stuff done." It really just takes away from the game, and it just means that there is going to be, a much smaller online community for this game, especially once this game is over. It's gonna be near impossible to see people doing Ogre Alston and the, Blueberry Academy things, and essentially gonna knock out a lot of fun features from these games because of a dying online community that they easily could support with some servers. And the last issue I have that I really hope they can fix with one last patch is the Outbreak rarity in this game. Now, some outbreaks are insanely hard to get. You can be resetting for hours on hours, days on days, and just never see certain outbreaks. A couple of them that are really hard is White Stripe Basculin. That's an incredibly hard one, and that shiny hunt is really hard because it's only in one lake in Kitakami, and you can't even isolate shiny hunt it either, and it's brutal. Feebas is another one that actually got even harder to shiny hunt with the Switch 2 update because of the amount of spawns that appear on screen. So Feebas just can't even really spawn in, which is really unfortunate. But that's a whole other issue. Totodile is a really hard outbreak to get right now as well. You get like 3 or 4 in 2 different spots in the game, but that's about it. So where's that outbreak? And I'm sure there's plenty of others. I mean, of course, I know some people are upset that we still haven't received certain event outbreaks in general, like Tame the Mouse. And I really hope at some point we will get some really good event outbreaks to maybe alleviate some of these issues for some of these harder Pokemon to shiny hunt. I mean, I'm imagining that's what they're going to probably do for the rest of this year. Hopefully, I'm correct. But in general, I do think they should make some outbreaks easier to get because some Pokemon just don't really have a good place to shiny hunt them. Oh, another good example is Eevee is incredibly hard to shiny hunt. Luckily, they've done a couple of event outbreaks for that one too. But there we have it, guys. Let me know in the comments section below what you wish Pokemon Scarlet and Violet had. If they could add any update, let me know what do you want them to add. Of course, let me know in the comment section below as well if you want me to make any other Pokemon Scarlet and Violet videos or any other videos in general. I always love to hear your thoughts. Of course, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and support my work by becoming a channel member. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a great one.